The Suns, what do y'all think is next? I mean, I know we agree that they're probably firing Frank Vogel for better or for worse. It seems like that's the writing on the wall at this moment in time. Should we be thinking about Kevin moving on to his next team?
It depends on if Kevin look at this roster and think there's moves that could be made. Or does he feel like as long as we got the big three, Bradley Beal probably won't have as worse as a season as he did last season. Maybe he has trust in him to bounce back, but that's the only thing that he could probably look at and say, Bradley Beal won't play this bad next year.
I say it take half a season and Kevin Durant's like, nah, trade me. Like, Kevin Durant is one of them people that once he's kind of disconnected, I feel like he's kind of gone, you know?
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at this point in his career. He's done it so many times. It's like, okay.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, if he ends up getting traded again, nobody's thinking about his legacy because everybody have already had that conversation 3 times.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking him to. You know, I just think when Kevin Durant is engaged, his play and everything is on a different level, and that's what he wants. That's what we all want. And in some of this series, I don't want to say he wasn't like there, but it just feels like there was a disconnect, and it could have just been the offense. That could have just really been his issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from your standpoint, if he's just looking at Bradley Beal, then he should leave. Bradley Beal could have played better in this series, and I still think they lose. There's not the Bradley Beal's performance is just crazy and magnified because he makes $50 million. But based off the season, what is Bradley Beal doing that's really putting his team together?
He wasn't going to be out there locking down on defense.
If they win a game in the series, does that change anything? If they lost in 5 and not 4? But like this team, number one, should not have been. You're not putting this team together with 3 guys that make $150 million together to just barely keep up with the Timberwolves, to barely get out of the first round. And this team is to try to really do something real. And I think you have to look way deeper than Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is just an easy target because he makes $50 million and the play was just so damn bad. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it's a lot deeper than Bradley Beal. I think it's super, super deeper than Bradley Beal because, like KB has said, for most of the season, it's tough to have a team like this and they don't play off of each other together into one flow. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have Kevin Durant in the corner. And if it's not him, then it's going to be Booker. So Kevin Durant could be frustrated that he was in the corner, but it's like only one basketball can be had. And unless you're going to be a screener and rolling and popping, which I don't really like Kevin Durant at this point in his career at the 4. I think that's 2010s basketball. I think this 2020s is a little bit more like the early 2000s where the front courts are real front courts. There's a 7-footer and a 6'9", 6'10" power forward. We're getting back into an era where we really have power forwards. Power forwards became like obsolete in the last decade. I don't like him at the 4. And if he's not going to be screening and rolling, I don't know how they play off of each other.
That's the problem with having overlapping skill sets. Like a good 2-man game in the NBA is going to be 2 people that play different positions and play differently. The Suns have 3 players that play very similar styles of basketball. So that's how you get to the point where it's like, okay, it's Kevin's turn to run this thing and it's Devin's turn. I disagree with the fact that, like, I think they should be running more stuff together where Kevin Durant is the roll man or the popper because it gives them an opportunity to hunt their mismatches a little bit more. But they did run that small ball lineup, and every time they ran small ball with having Kevin at the 5, they got dominated in the regular season, and then they got to game number 4, and Frank Vogel was like, fuck it, we got to try something. So they went small ball in game number 4 as well, and it didn't work out. So I don't know what happens next with them. But there were plenty times in this series where I just wanted to see Kevin take the game over.
Yeah,
he had a couple 30 pieces.
Yeah,
he had a good series, I guess. But like when I think about the best players in the world, I saw Joel Embiid took over a fourth quarter in game 4 or whatever the hell it was. Now,
game 3,
fourth quarter in game 4, he was awful. He didn't score a single point.
You saw him take over the third quarter in game 3.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But we see the top guys be able to give you a stretch. Like even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did it in game number 3 where he scored 14 straight points. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that from Kevin this series. We didn't see Kevin saying, oh, our back is against the wall. I'm one of the greatest scorers of all time.
I expected him to kind of go out guns blazing, and that's why I feel like it had to be kind of a disconnect because at that point it's just like, man, I don't care no more. Because I don't know how many shots he took in that fourth quarter. Maybe he took like 2, 3. But I'm expecting at least 10 shots in the fourth quarter. And Booker was doing his thing. Them damn near the only players I really want to shoot in the damn ball.
And they had so many third quarters where you could tell they came at a halftime and the Minnesota Timberwolves just came out guns blazing. And then they had no answer for him, pretty much.
And
that's like a quarter where you would think KD and Book, they would just take over. Like they had that impact, that duo, something like Kyrie and Bron, where they both going out there getting 40, and like you could tell that their dominance is being felt. I didn't really feel that at all in the series.
Kevin took 3 shots in the fourth quarter of game
3
4.
shots.
2 points.
This is your season on the line, and Kevin Durant taking 3 shots.
It goes back to like you said, the overlapping skill sets. That's one of the things that, like, in the theory and just like your brain, you would like a pick and roll, but they're trying to get to the same spot. But Kevin Durant is not finna really be rolling to the basket. He's going to try to get a mid-range shot, or he's going to pop, and Booker's going to come off of it looking to get in the mid-range too, or Bradley Beal's going to get in the mid-range, and they're going to be willing to take the 3. But we know where they're trying to get to.
Well, especially when you're just kind of go for the mismatch. I don't always like that either.
Take too much time to hunt it.
It take a lot of time, and then also it probably just going to end up in another ISO with probably not much movement going on.
Yeah, it gets
so
super
on top of that, it's just still going to
predictable.
be, at the end of the day, it's 10 seconds left. Yo, world, get this shot up.
That's a team building thing, though.
Yeah.
Like that, you have to go stagnant, because we gonna run some movement with Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic on the court. We gonna run some. Nobody's respecting Eric Gordon in 2024 anymore.
Yeah,
they're not respecting OG Anunoby.
But that's
anymore.
why I told Darrick, I think the issue is a lot more deeper than looking at Bradley Beal saying, man, he's gonna play better.